Last time on Colony Confidential,
we had a scorpion in a glass one day, and we were like, this would be perfect. Scorpion can't climb out of a glass. If we could create the same texture around the base of your home, let's do it. It took a while to figure that out. It's not something you can go and buy in Home Depot or anything like that, because the scorpions, they still have these spurs, so they can still attach themselves. But with this application that we created, it's clear. It goes around the very bottom of your home and it dries. And once it dries hard, durable, and it dries glass-like. Seriously, when you touch it, it actually, you could feel the glass. And when scorpions try to climb onto the application, they cannot attach themselves. Right now, we've even gone to the point where we're experimenting with other crawling insects. Because with scorpions, what we found is like 98% of all scorpion stings happen inside. So if we can stop that from happening, if we can stop them from entering a house, then we've solved that problem. As far as pest control, we're proponents of pest control. We understand that our product used in conjunction with pest control, pesticides, and so forth, it makes our product more effective. Because of course, we're going to keep them out of your house, but you got to keep them out of your yard. If you still don't want to have any exposure, you have to deal with them that way. Clients that we booked, we had to book them into the far future because we didn't have the manpower. We didn't have offices, and we barely had one truck. So when COVID came, a lot of those deals, we got the phone calls, which is, no, you guys can't come over. I don't want anyone over. And it just became really complicated for us because just when we started picking up traction, everything just shut down again. And we even got to do a show in March. And in March, the show was even bigger because it was at the Arizona Cardinals Stadium. And all of those that were booked all got canceled. And so we were like, how do we do this? So we started reaching out to these clients and other clients. We started saying, look, we're safe. We're not going in your house. We're going to wear our mask. We're going to wear gloves, which we do anyway, because the application, it's hard to take off your hands. And then we just started that communication. We wouldn't have multiple people at the property. We would have a couple, keep them distant. We'd walk the property with the client, but we'd keep them at bay. But to be honest, this summer, which should have been our biggest summer ever, we couldn't get there because of that. But what it also did is it helped us to slow down and fix things. And as much as it really hurt because it hurt our pocketbook to keep this company going, it really caused us to sit there and go, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing wrong? And we figured out a lot in that summer. That summer really helped slow us down and make us understand how to do things correctly. So now we feel very confident that we haven't had as many COVID issues so far. People are still welcome to us. I know you had Tommy on the podcast, and I listen to him all the time, and he's right. People have been a little more receptive here in Arizona. There are high cases, but as long as you could be safe, then I think people have been open to us.
That's good to hear. I think everybody has their oh shit moment with COVID and then how we all dug out of it.
Yeah.
So it's good to hear that you were able to come out of it, and that amazing summer or month or whatever the case is, it's just going to come. And the goal now for all of us, and I imagine you're doing it, is just to be ready for it because you had the traction already. You're not going to lose that. People are going to remember when it gets back to whatever normal becomes.
We've learned with people having and being forced to spend all that time at home, they see everything. They see these scorpions that they never saw before. And not that we want this trend to continue, but it's really helped us to stay in business, being that people are actually watching. When my co-founder was telling me to start this business and I was telling him, I've never seen a scorpion. When my son was stung, I go outside and I think in the first night we caught 50. In the next night, I think we caught 30. And it's incredible that we lived with them. We started finding them in the house because we were looking for them, taking these huge risks. But now people are at home and they're looking for those sort of issues.
A lot of the people that are at home are still making money with less expenses, travel expenses, etc.
Yeah.
It was for the residential pest market. It was somewhat of a perfect storm.
The good thing about these scorpions, they don't care about COVID. It doesn't affect them. They're always going to be there. It's a great industry.
I was doing real estate business law, and that's all I wanted to do. But I had to diversify in 2008 because the market changed. So I started doing criminal law. And my wife, she's a prosecutor. So in my family, we always are pro-state. We got to keep everybody out of business. And keep everyone from committing crimes. But every time we do that, it makes my job harder. So we need more people to commit crimes so I have more work. And that's why I've had to struggle, to tell my kids, like, yes, I get it. We want to be safe, but I need work.
In my days out in the field, you always met several people that you wondered, what the hell are they thinking? You meet any unusual clients in your business?
So we met a guy who he was retired. His wife was a veterinarian. They were very well-to-do, really nice house. And we said, hey, we'll go do it. And at that time, we were doing it practically for free. I think we were charging him maybe $200. We'd have to travel at least 3 or 4 hours away just to go help him with his house. He would go and take stucco and he'd put it on boards and he'd put the paint on and he would ship it to us. And we would be like, okay, yeah, it'll work on this. We'd ship it back, say everything, it'll work on this. And he's like, no, I need you to put the application on. Then we put the application on, we send it back, and then he would send other part of his landscape. And pretty soon we're just going back and forth with his landscaping, applying this application. And it got to the point where we're ultimately enough's enough. This works. It's not like a science project. He wanted to treat it like if we could prove it on every single item that he'd send us. And the thing is, every single item, it worked. But we do get some people out there that have been around long enough to know that scorpions, you can never keep them from out of your home. So they are very skeptical and they all they question us. They'll even test it. But we always have them calling back and saying, you know what? It works. We found it. It works.
That's awesome.
That's good.
Was there any material that it doesn't adhere to?
Yeah, there hasn't been one thing that it doesn't adhere to. So that's why we were moving this into other states for other purposes. And that's why we started our testing on other crawling insects and on rodents, because we know it works. Obviously, we're a company, we're growing. Right now, we're going through a seed round of getting financing so we could actually get bigger. But we know we need people like you in a different part of the country to work with. I'm working with a guy, he was actually on Shark Tank, and every time he thinks the product would work, and he's on the East Coast, he's in Pennsylvania, he always contacts me and says, hey, we should try it on this because maybe it would help for something else. Maybe it'll help for bats. And those are unique things that we're interested in, but we don't have all those different pests here in Arizona. So part of getting funding too is so that I have more time to get out there, to meet with you guys, to see, hey, will this actually work? And then to continue our testing.
How do you apply it? You paint it on or spray it on?
Well, it's a combination of both. So we can spray it on, but because we're trying to build the layer, we have to go layer by layer. And so we do brush on a little bit at a time, and then we come through and we spray the top coat all around the base, and it stays nice and smooth. So by spraying it, smooths it out if you were painting a car, and it's just nice and smooth. So it's a combination of both. It's not that easy to just paint it on. You still got to create that glass-like texture.
Right. So I'm trying to visualize it at my own house. So there's dirt around the house. You have to dig a bit of a trench.
No, not even. So there's multiple homes that we've encountered. So the typical home in Arizona sits on a concrete pad, and the concrete pad is exposed like maybe 2 inches, upwards of 4 or 5 inches. That's
There's no basement.
Yeah, exactly. There have also been homes where the stucco goes all the way to the ground. So we apply it to maybe 1 or 2 inches of the stucco. Then we've also have homes where there are basements, and we do the same thing. As long as we can get around their house, even if they have siding, we're able to put 1 to 2 inches all around, and then we get into the basement area of the windows. And as long as we can apply it anywhere in that area that a scorpion from the ground would attach itself, as long as we could keep them from doing that, they won't end up in that basement window. And then if they do end up, they just happen to fall into that basement window, we treat this area. We only need to put just a 1/4 inch. And I know that's for scorpions, and maybe there are certain insects that are bigger, but we just need a 1/4 inch, and that will stop them. Right now, I have their front doors that have just little tiny step-ups, and we apply it, and it works. Obviously, if there's no step-up, we apply it to the threshold and the door jambs.
This is super interesting because, as you are well aware, we don't deal with scorpions.
Yeah.
We deal with rats and mice.
And that's I just like your poster that I'm seeing there. That's exactly what we want to do. We want to make sure we can service that too.
Oh, the rat poster? Yeah. Did you ever see that? Did you ever see that documentary?
I have not.
It used to be on Netflix. I don't think it is anymore.
He's in it, by the way.
Really? Okay, now I definitely got to watch it.
That's why it's on the wall in perfect view for everybody to see.
I noticed he signed it too.
In his own house.
He goes and shows people, hey, I got the actor to sign my poster. I'm the actor.
Do you do any work with Arizona Pest Squad, David Marshall? He's a friend of the podcast, very active in Arizona, very active on social media. Might be a good person for you to reach out to. That might be a good connection for you.
And that's the thing, right? Trying to show the industry that it works and that they should use it. It would be easy for us to say we're the only ones that can do it. No one else can benefit from it. But we would be remiss because we use pest control all the time. And so at our own homes, in our buildings, and for us, if they can find a way to make it part of their arsenal and their tool chest, it's there. Use it. We want them to. We don't care how much money they make off of it. We just want to be able to get it out there on every home.
Did you ever try this on roaches?
Yeah, we're trying it on roaches too.
Oh.
It's been pretty effective, I can tell you. We just have to start showing more of our videos, but we're in the middle of our testing. But at some point we will, and we'll start putting those videos up, just like we tested on different types of crawling spiders. We're working on ants right now. Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
That is, yeah. It sounds like a great product for scorpions. And if you could go out into other pests, it would just, I think it'd be a great add-on for a lot of companies. I think a lot of people listening would be interested in seeing it.
I really want to do a podcast because I learned from you guys. I listen to you anyway. So I've listened to multiple episodes. I learn, but also because I want people to know it's out there. We go to someone's house and we do it and they're like, great, this is a fantastic product, but they can't offer us any more than that. But if you're in the industry and you can see a better use for this, that's what we want to hear. So we encourage people to reach out to us so that way we can try to see if, there's anything we can do to help each other.
When I was in that documentary, my daughter came over with one of her friends and we had posters, rats all over the refrigerator. My daughter was, what's this? She goes, in my house, this is what you grew up with. It's not shocking. There's always rats or something around the house.
Yeah, I get a kick out of my kids because we have my son that was stung, commercials and different advertising. We use him, his photo when he was in the hospital. Then we have another son. We did this whole gimmick that says, don't let scorpions eat your kids. And it's grabbing my kid. It's trying to eat them. And so my kids think they're celebrities and then they're entitled. So every time we do something, they're asking for their royalties. I'm like, my goodness, you guys are little kids. How do
you educated them too
soon. Yeah, so it's pretty funny. But you can find us at Scorpion Repel. Just type it into Google. You'll find us, or scorpionrepel.com. My name is Tony at Scorpion Repel. And you can check out our videos on YouTube. They're pretty interesting. And yeah,
Tony at scorpionrepel. What? AOL?
Scorpion at Tony at scorpionrepel.com.
Okay. You're showing your age. If somebody says your email is whatever at colonypestnyc.com, there's no AOL after that. There's no Gmail after that.
Listen.
Scorpion Repel.
I embrace my age, okay? So what it is, I'm content with what I did. I did my best, and now I can do whatever I want.
You know what? I know what I'm getting you. I'm getting you dial-up internet.
What is that?
That's what it was in the 90s. You're going back there.
Oh.
Yeah, that was
very comfortable.
It's interesting now to see, with me trying to get experience and contacting a lot of people in the field. This is a serious business, and I'm very impressed with their educations, and everyone's willing to share. That's what's been pretty awesome about this industry. Everyone wants to give away free information, and I'm willing to accept it. They've been generous enough to do that. So
what I love about this industry is it embraces everybody. If you just want to start a small business and you're a hustler, you could do that.
Yeah.
Obviously, the more education you have, the better. But I've seen guys that I didn't think they were okay. They're not dumb. Yeah. And they built up like $500,000 a year business, and they're happy. You can go your own route. And I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, so Mr. and Mrs. America, it's Joey, currently bunless. But once again, Tony Gonzales from Scorpion Repel, great interview. Learned a lot. We don't know about scorpions here in the Northeast. There was a lot of information because it's something that we wanted to hear about and learn more about. Thank you to Tony again. Mr. America.
Tony, I want to thank you. This has been very educational for me. I think you have a really good product there. And stay in touch. And good luck to you and your family. And stay safe out there.
Thank you guys very much for having me. And you guys stay safe as well. And yeah, I'm hoping that next time I talk to you, we've made some more strides. And like I said, when I'm out there, I'm going to contact you guys.
We'll apply it somewhere in New York for rodents and be able to do some kind of field testing with it.
That'd be awesome. Fantastic. Thank you guys.
Mr. and Mrs. American, all the ships at sea. Ed Sheehan for Colony Confidential. Stay safe out there. Until we meet again, God bless you. Hey, this was a good interview.
Yeah, no, well, listen, this is one thing, honestly, that we don't know shit about.
Yes, I know, but it was like you get hit with all of these new products and shit, and it's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
But this one really piqued my interest. This could work for rodents too. They can't get a grip on the shit. I'm just interested. I'd like to see it applied.
Go to Arizona. I think that it's a no-brainer that we're going for a little R&D session.
When are we doing that?
When COVID's over.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe and review. Send us anything you want us to know about at colonyconfidential@gmail.com.